Hey guys, welcome back to Okladoma. Headed out here to the infamous shop. And this is, I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm going to try to keep it short, but I wanted to try something different. So my wife found another piece the other day, got it real cheap, and she wanted me to do a different kind of finish on it. So we're going to take this little cabinet full of drawers, and today I'm going to work on painting each one of those 9 drawers a different color. I'm using my Arteza, going to mix up some custom colors, and I'm trying something different. This can of hairspray, big sexy, is going to be in play today. I saw this here a while back and I've been wanting to try it, and I figured today was as good a day as any. It rained all day and I don't have anything else outside that I can do. It's so soggy everywhere. So let's get right to it. Hang with me and I'm going to take you through this step by step. Okay, so as usual, what she wants is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. But she wants each one of these 9 drawers painted a different color. She wants them to be more of a pastel or just a lighter color of these choices that she picked out. And she wants to leave the pullers dark. So I'm going to mask off around each one of these pullers if I've got enough tape. She caught me a little bit low on supplies, and that's all the masking tape I could find. Anyway, I'll get these taped off and then we'll go to our next step. Hang tight. And here's what it looks like. I just ran a little piece of masking tape around the pull, push it in on the top just to keep paint off of it. Pretty much it. I'm going to do all 9. I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm back. I moved the camera so that you'd have a little better view. So I took all 9 drawers out, covered the knobs or the pullers with masking tape all the way down to the edge. She wanted those to stay dark. They're not perfect. They don't really have to be. You get the gist of it. Another little FYI, I always number all the drawers, because if they're in there and they're sliding in and out good, then leave them where they go. I have bought pieces before, work on the drawers, did number them, and then try to slide them in different spots, and they just don't fit as good. So just a little FYI. Okay, now we're going to spread all these out, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with a can of hairspray. Be right back. Okay, so in order to get a crackle glaze on this type of stuff and make it really look aged, supposedly you can coat this with a nice moderate to light heavy coat of hairspray, let it completely dry, put your paint over the top of it, and then as the paint dries it starts cracking apart. This is my first time trying this, so you'll never know unless it works, because if it doesn't work, I'm going to wipe all this crap off, get on one knee and apologize to Mama, and then I'm going to ditch the footage and go a different direction, okay? So we got our big sexy hairspray, all-nighter it says. We haven't pulled an all-nighter since we were in our late 20s, so I don't know if it works as an all-nighter or not. Anyway, we're going to take and put a nice heavy coat on this. I stuck all the drawers together as opposed to doing them one at a time. I just think it'll save time. This is such a narrow stream, I'm going to have to back off a ways here and hope my tape doesn't give out on me. Smells good. I imagine this is what Dolly Parton smells like most of the time. My wife doesn't hardly ever use hairspray at all. This has probably been sitting in the cabinet for years. She goes natural and she is beautiful. So now we wait. Isn't this fun? As soon as this dries, I'll be back and we're going to start coating these. Each one's going to be a different color, so naturally I'm going to have to separate all the drawers and we'll do them one at a time. Let's see what happens. So real quick, I wanted to tell you guys, my wife, she's been in the house the last 2 days. She picked up a stomach bug and hadn't been feeling good. She kind of felt a little better, so she wanted to get outdoors. It's cooler this afternoon because of all the rain we've had. And so while she was here, I said, hey, why don't you just tell me what colors you want to wear on these drawers? And any of you guys that happen to watch this, just listen to old Shaw. I've been married a long time. You let your wife decide where she wants this stuff to go, and then if it doesn't look right, she's got nobody to blame but herself. It takes all liability off your shoulders. Just trust me on this. She's got a really good eye for color, though, all kidding aside. And real quick, I was going to tell you that we've had a lot of requests by subscribers wanting to see what our home looks like and the she shed and the man cave. So that's coming up soon, just as soon as she gets feeling good enough to do it. Anyway, I've had the drawers sitting on the floor in front of the fan behind me. I shut it off so I could talk because it's so damn loud. But I'm getting ready to set them up here, get everything lined out, and we're going to go through one drawer to show you the process, and then I'll decide what to do from there. Just hang with me. It's going fast. Okay, guys, so I'm off camera, but I wanted to be where you could see exactly what I'm doing. I might have failed to mention, you also need a squirt bottle, spray bottle with water in it. I don't know if I'm going to use that, to be honest with you, but that's what I was told. I got my first color here mixed up. She wanted to use this Arteza Persian green, but she wanted it lightened up, so I threw a little white in there with it. Got a sponge brush because it'll lay the paint on and I can daub it around these inside edges right here. And I forgot to mention too that you also, on this kind of project, you're supposed to have a can of beer with you. That is for you. So let's get started. I'm just making sure I catch everything on this inside edge first. Because this is going to be a crackle finish, it doesn't matter, I guess, if you got it full coverage, but I'm going for that anyway. All around these push knobs that she just had to leave dark. I don't mean to sound like I'm upset about that or anything. She can have whatever she wants. If Mama's not happy, nobody's happy. Everybody knows that. Try to get rid of all the brush strokes that I can. And just for giggles, I'm going to try to catch a little bit of the edge too. Now I'm not going to do every drawer till I see what this is going to do. That way if I've got one that's going to act like it's runt, then it'll just be one. And now stand by. Now we wait. Okay, so we've had a few minutes here and I wanted to show you. I'm still on the fence about this a little bit at the moment. But this blue drawer was the first one I tried. And that looks cool, but it's not so much crackling as it is spotting. And the reason why is because as soon as I put that coat of paint on there, I took my spray bottle and just misted a little bit of water on top of the paint, and then I immediately hit it with my heat gun, and the water droplets caused the paint to bubble, and then as I kept the heat on it, that's where it pulled apart. There is a little crackling there, but it still looks cool, so I'm not totally against doing this again. But on this one, the paint bubbled up and then it shriveled down and hardened and gave it a neat looking old rough finish, but hardly any crackling. So then I was thinking, well, I'm done with this. And then all of a sudden this pink one did exactly what it's supposed to do, and that actually looks really awesome. So I'm going to continue on. I might as well go. I mean, no sense in turning back now. I'm 3 deep in this thing. And now I'm a couple more deep, and that, hang on, my camera, that's got kind of a cool look to it. And then this lighter cream color crackled a little bit. It is giving a really neat finish, but like I said, I don't know. There may be other methods that would work better for crackling, but I guarantee you, you're not going to find one cheaper than this to do. Hairspray is the cheapest thing there is besides salt and baking soda. Anyway, I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so I've been experimenting with this a little bit, and I'm going to show you something I just discovered. It works best if, let me see what I got here. It works best if you put the heat gun or a hair dryer to it just as soon as you get through putting on a coat. So I'm going to show you real fast. I'm going to coat this down with one of my wife's wild choices. Now, as soon as I get through at the last stroke, I'm going to have to flip the camera around here and I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright, here we go. So, I'm taking this, setting it immediately on the ground. I'm spritzing it with a little water, and then I'm putting my heat gun on it. Not getting crazy with it or anything, but it takes a minute to take it back. If you you get too close and put too much heat on it all at once, it just starts kind of bubbling up. I found that out too, don't ask me how. I'm really, really impatient when it comes to stuff like this. I want to see it happen now. Alright guys, so I'm running out of light and I kind of had to get in a little more of a hurry, and I used the heat gun quite a bit to speed the process up. But here's what you're left with. It turned out really cool, I think. My favorite one was this pink one. It really crackled well. Some of the other ones not so much, but they all turned out having a really cool finish on them. Tammy was happy with it. I'm going to flip the camera around and do my outro, but I got to tell you a couple of things I found out in the process, so hang tight. Okay guys, so this was my first time to try this process, and I'll tell you a couple of things I found out personally. This pink drawer right here was the only one that actually did the proper crackling, but I don't think it was the process as much as I think it was the material this is made out of. It's just a laminate. There's no grain in it, so I think if you tried that on a wood cabinet, it would probably work a lot better. I don't know that hairspray would be my choice. I think you could spray or put regular paint on there and just go over it with clear coat, and as the clear coat shrinks up, I think that would crackle it as well. And they make products out there specifically for a crackle finish. But hairspray's cheap, and if you got the time and the effort to put into it, it's an easy to do process. Little time consuming, you got to babysit it. And I did find out too that you literally brush your paint on there, immediately set it somewhere, spritz it with your water bottle, whatever you got, and put a hair dryer or heat gun on it, unless you want to sit and watch it for 3 or 4 maybe hours. I don't know. I don't have that kind of patience. I put the heat to it. Now, if it doesn't crackle, you can apply the heat gun a little closer, and it'll cause the paint, the water droplets on there will cause the paint to bubble and then shrink back up, and it leaves a really cool finish. I mean, I was really happy with it no matter what. I'd do it again on another piece. But anyway, Mama's happy with this. So if Mama's happy, Shaw's happy. And it made that piece look a lot more expensive. It's not an expensive product by any means, but it's cool looking. And she's got a good eye for color. What about that, man? That looks cool. Anyway, this is just going to be a quick video. I found that process to be interesting, and I thought maybe you would too. So anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Be watching out. I got a lot better ones coming. For Okladoma, this is Shaw, signing out.